The Separatist forces on Geonosis were involved in numerous battles throughout the Clone Wars. However, they differ from most units across the galaxy in the way that the standard B1 battle droids were actually camouflaged to blend in with the orange sands of the world. But why exactly is this? And why is it unique to Geonosis? Well, firstly, we do need to state that some droids were actually camouflaged across different battlefields. For example, on some jungle worlds, they were given green camouflage to blend in. However, in general, most were the standard beige employed across the rest of the galaxy. Now, we've talked before about why most armies in the war didn't really use camouflage very often. However, it does seem strange that these droids on this particular world were. Especially when considering that these droids were in no way special. They were standard B1s, the cheapest and weakest unit that the Confederacy had. Now, there is going to be a fair bit of speculation in this video because we don't actually have a canon answer, but I think I've put together one that does explain it. Firstly, I think we need to look at the Geonosians themselves. Although the droid factories were created by Bactoid Armor Automata, they were situated in Geonosian hives, and they were largely operated and maintained by the Insectoids. For this reason, we can assume that they had relative freedom to do whatever they wanted. Now, one of the main reasons most armies didn't bother camouflaging because it was simply too expensive and took too long. However, as we know, the Geonosians had one massive advantage, and that was manpower, and for this reason, I believe assigning Geonosians and manpower to having the droids painted will have been far easier. But this still does beckon the question, why would you do it in the first place? The droids were not very advanced, and we know for a fact the Separatists don't really value them. So this camouflage must have gave them some distinct advantage. And for this, we need to look at how the droids on Geonosis were actually used strategically. Geonosis is primarily wide open plains with little to no cover. For this reason, even standard CIS tactics of tight formations and simply overwhelming the enemy doesn't really work. The enemy was able to spread out, and for this reason battle lines were long, meaning that overrunning an opponent was not going to be easy. If the Separatist commanders attempted to use their standard tactics, it would have gone terribly. They would be ripped apart by concentrated fire of the Republic lines, being easy targets for artillery and air support. For this reason, the droids were spread out. They made the most of the space available. And this made it a very unusual tactic for the war. It meant that the clones were more inclined to aim at a specific target over just shooting into a horde of enemies. And for this reason, camouflage was more useful. Each droid was its own combatant in a way, as opposed to in standard tactics where they all group together to make one unstoppable army. Now, Geonosis is a sandy world where dust storms and fallout from combat makes visibility next to none in some scenarios. For this reason, camouflage actually makes a lot of sense. The enemy would not have been able to see the droids, and therefore they'll be forced to fire relatively indiscriminately into wherever they think that the droids are. The Republic was doing the same thing. It's one of the few worlds where they actually employed camouflage. Ultimately, I think that this was a very good idea. Geonosis is the perfect example of a world where camouflage is incredibly beneficial to the terrain and environment. But what do you guys think? Was this a good idea, and do you think that the CIS should have employed camouflage on more worlds? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this little video. Apologies if the upload schedule is going to be a bit all over the place in the next few days. It's deadline season at uni at the moment, so I'm trying to get them out when I can. But I do hope that you enjoyed. Please don't forget to follow me on Twitter at @TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates and to stay up to date. And also please don't forget to like, share and sub if you did enjoy. But most importantly, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.